Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? It's your girl here, MJ's Nia. Welcome to the channel. Yes, I wanted to talk about a few YouTubers. It's that time of the year. I have to talk about some few YouTubers because I saw somebody named Cameron talked about how YouTube Black what is being pushed. But I also want to first start off with this Pennsylvania YouTuber. He pretty much did the unthinkable. So let me go ahead. You probably ever see the title, but let me go ahead and play a video for you guys.
We do have breaking news just into CNN. We want to warn you, this is very disturbing. A Pennsylvania man was charged with murder and abuse of a corpse after police say he posted a YouTube video in which he claims to show his father's decapitated head while ranting about the Biden administration and the border crisis. Now, this video circulated online for hours before being taken down. The father of the individual was a federal employee. The son called him a traitor. With us now, former FBI Deputy Director and CNN Senior Law Enforcement Analyst Andrew McCabe and CNN's Danny Freeman. Danny, I want to start with you. This is breaking right now. What more do we know about what actually happened here?
Yeah, Phil, and just to state the obvious, obviously, as you said, this is an incredibly disturbing story. I watched part of this video last night, and it's one of those things that it's an image you just can't get out of your head. Yesterday, this is when this all started. This video was posted on YouTube. The suspect here is Justin Mohn. He's 32 years old. He's from Middletown Township in Pennsylvania. That's in Bucks County. And as you said, this video contains a number of rantings basically about the Biden administration, about the border. At one point, even declaring himself the acting president under martial law. But then there's this horrific moment when he appears to show the head of his deceased father on camera, saying that his father was a traitor to the country because he was a federal employee. Now, that video, like you said, Phil, stayed up for a long time. Eventually, later into the evening, YouTube was able to take it down. Even X seemed to be taking down videos that people were just reposting and reposting. But then in the evening, police were able to apprehend Mr. Mohn about 100 miles away from his home in Bucks County in Fort Indiantown Gap in Pennsylvania. Again, that's 100 miles to the west of where he was and where this crime is alleged to have been committed. Now, I will say, just to give you a sample of one of the things that Mr. Mohn said, and I'm quoting here from the video, he said in part, "The federal government of America has declared war on its citizens and the American states. America is rotting from the inside out as far left woke mobs rampage our once prosperous city." Now, Phil, the thing that law enforcement are trying to make clear at this moment is that this suspect is in custody. The threat to the larger community is over right now, but truly a community on edge. You can imagine after hearing this news, we're going to hear a press conference from the Bucks County District Attorney later on today on this subject. Phil?
Andy, this video it references President Biden. It was up on YouTube, as I understand it, for several hours before it was taken down. Talk about the bigger picture here, if you could.
Sure. Yeah. So the bigger picture is extremely concerning, I think, as do most security officials as we go into what will be an incredibly heated political season. You know, obviously this guy, we don't know. We're waiting on additional facts from the investigation to understand his specific motives. You can make some assumptions based on his claims in the video that he's been motivated by politics. But you know, I think that the bigger picture here is that this is another example of the fact that the kind of overheated, deeply politicized, extreme rhetoric that you hear sometimes in this country from politically elected officials and leaders actually has an impact on these marginalized people with extremist views who might be, because of their mental illness or their disturbance or their unbelievably strong beliefs in some of these things, driven to embark in acts of violence. You know, some of the things that he has said on the video, allegedly referring to woke mobs and things like that, that's not dissimilar from rhetoric that you hear from some politicians that we've heard recently in the primary season from some folks specifically. So this kind of language has an effect on the extremist, on the most extreme, most vulnerable, most potentially dangerous part of our population. And I think it's something that most security officials are really concerned about. You know, Poppy, like the odds are, if we experience political violence in this year around the presidential election, it's not going to look like January 6th. It's not going to look like a massive mob of people that's organized and compelled to come together at our nation's capital or any state capital. It's going to look like individuals who decide that based on their extreme beliefs, they have to act out on their own. And that seems to be what we have here.
It's an incredibly disturbing story. Andrew McCabe, Danny Freeman, I know you'll keep reporting.
Okay, so you just heard that Justin Mohn, I think his name is Justin Mohn, he beheaded his father. And he displayed it on YouTube, and it was on YouTube for hours. I heard that it was, I think, 6 hours, allegedly. I think it was 6 hours. It was really long before that YouTube took it down. Another thing I wanted to point out is he was also, like they stated, he was ranting and raving about President Biden and the illegal immigrants. I don't know if you guys know that. A lot of people have been complaining lately on the illegal immigrants.
Mayor Adams taking a stand tonight to slow the city's immigration crisis, or at least try. After months of migrant surges, he's now ordering all bus companies to give the city 32 hours notice before transporting asylum seekers into New York. Both a shrewd and desperate move. The target, the conservative governor of Texas, and who forces migrants out of his state and onto buses to big cities. Will it work? Here's Josh Oninger.
Those endless convoys of buses brimming with migrants may finally slow down. At least that's Mayor Adams' hope, thanks to a new executive order aimed at taking control of the crisis.
We really are saying to bus operators and companies, do not participate in Governor Abbott's actions, and we want them to take the appropriate actions of being responsible.
Most of the buses arriving unannounced under the cover of darkness are chartered by the state of Texas, whose anti-immigrant Governor Greg Abbott has been shipping tired and desperate families thousands of miles to sanctuary cities like New York, where today the mayor signed a new executive order requiring buses drop off at a designated location, and only from Monday through Friday between 8:30 a.m. and noon, with at least 32 hours notice. Failure to comply would lead to fines against bus companies and even the impoundment of buses. The city says it's seeing close to 16,000 new asylum seekers every month.
This is a national problem that has only been exacerbated by Governor Abbott's cruel, inhumane politics. The federal government must take responsibility.
With the population shift only getting worse and increasing numbers of migrants from around the world fleeing hardship at home and marching north through Central America, today the U.S. Secretaries of State and Homeland Security led a delegation to Mexico to try to convince the Mexican president to help step up immigration enforcement south of the border, reopen key ports of entry, and perhaps more important, encourage migrants to stay in Mexico. Back in New York, the flood of migrants keeps deepening. We are hoping his new executive order will make a dent. Josh Oninger, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Alert out of New York City. Students are being forced to learn online as nearly 2,000 migrants move into their school.
Nate Foy is live in Brooklyn with the latest, with what's going on. Nate, what can you tell us about this?
Well, good morning. I can tell you that a couple state assemblymen and concerned parents just spoke moments ago, and they are very upset that the students at this school, 3,600 students, are learning remotely today because of those nearly 2,000 migrants that moved in last night at the city's direction. Those migrants, because the weather is a bit better today than it was last night, have since been moved back to their tent facility. That happened at 4:30 this morning, but the impact continues for the students today. They're learning remotely. All sports practices have been canceled, and we just heard from concerned parents saying that some teachers aren't even showing up for the remote learning sessions. So they say that this really is not a situation that they're comfortable with. But take a look at this video as you see those 2,000 migrants arrive here last night. Again, it was because of bad weather threatening their nearby tent facility. The school notified parents of the students. The city writing, quote, "The health and safety of migrants in our care is always a top priority, which is why we are currently overseeing the relocation of 1,900 guests from the humanitarian Humanitarian Emergency Response and Relief Center at Floyd Bennett Field. That relocation is forcing students to again learn at home, a proven disaster for learning, as we saw during COVID. Florida Governor and presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis spoke about this last night. Listen here.
The government is commandeering the school to house illegal aliens.
So the migrants now are back at Floyd Bennett Field, but many are wondering for how long. Of course, we're in the middle of winter here in New York City. We just had a nor'easter over the weekend, and harsh conditions are expected, throughout the winter. So people are concerned that this could happen again, not only at this school, but in other districts across New York, which is why these two assemblymen who are not part of this district are here speaking today. And they say that they're drafting legislation to
and the Ukraine war, calling the Biden administration treacherous. But I want to focus back on the illegal immigrants. There has been people who have, I might show you some clips or videos, but there have been people who are upset that there are illegal immigrants in America. So what the guy was saying is people are acting on what some of these political leaders are saying, the ones that are running for president or governors. They're acting out on based on what they're saying. And I believe he wrote a book as well. So yes, down here it says recently published by my second book, Thought by nonfiction, this time to address some pressing social political issues before going back to fiction. Visit my author page to find out more. So yeah, he wrote a book, The Revolution Leaders Survival Guide. I don't know, noun schools or house schools, I can't see that. Workplaces, antisocial norms kill the genesis inside of all of us. That is one of the reasons why he killed his father, is because he felt like his father was a traitor. He was like a dysgenesis that needs to be killed. He even mentions that in this article. He allegedly was supposed to be like a rapper. He seemed to prefer like Kanye West for president, Yeezy for Preezy, 2020 Feezy, 2024 may be the first year I bothered to vote. Here's something else. This was like 2023. There is currently a resolution of impeachment in the hands of following #Pennsylvania legislators to impeach FBI Director Chris Wray for corruption involving pay-to-play politicals and racketeering. This racket creates unemployment to create homeless, to create crime in states such as Colorado, so prisons can make money at expense of taxpayers while endangering law enforcement. This is a non-patron move, which has nothing to do with the FBI's raid on Trump's home. Contact your below legislator to support this impeachment. Yeah, he was something else. Yeah. Another thing too was I saw that it took him a long time to take down this video. So I'm guessing that he was ranting and raving for a long time before actually it was a 14-minute video. So that means that people were watching it before it was taken down. So that means a lot of people were watching this video before he took it down. It says call to arms for American patriots. And then I saw that he had 190 likes. So 100 out of those, I don't know how many people watched the video. I was trying to figure out how many. And I also want to know how many subscribers he got as well. This is very important because if he was misled by somebody, by a political leader, then he's also been misleading all the 190 people. Y'all don't think that's kind of funny that he has 190 likes? I think it's very odd. I'm a little concerned about that. How many more people is online that's going to continue to keep doing this? He was arrested. So, I mean, he is arrested. Now, look at this picture. I just want to show y'all his picture. Child, oh my God. But anyway, previous online calls for violence. The content of his 14-minute YouTube video mirrors a sentiment from sweeping manifesto that Justin Mohn penned in 2020 titled America's Coming Bloody Revolution, in which he called for a revolution against anyone born before 1991, blaming previous generations for trading away the future of America's youth. He posted a now deleted pamphlet to Feces, a free online publishing site, writing to be blunt. Americans will have to weigh what is worse, allowing themselves to lose freedom and independence or killing their own family members, teachers, co-workers, bosses, judges, elected leaders, and other older generations who are traitors and wish to take away the freedom and independence that comes with America, democracy, and free market and capitalism. He likened his writings to Thomas Paine's Common Sense, which advocated for 13 American colonies to separate from Britain. So I'm gonna leave this article down here so you guys can read it for yourself. Like, it's crazy, and that's pretty much why he killed his father. And then it brings up that he walked around in the middle of the day, the middle of the night. This guy was insane. He was insane. So yeah, that is a YouTuber that was online, ranting and raving, talking all kind of crazy stuff. He made books. Yeah. So I want to talk about this next YouTuber. So this next YouTuber was arrested for throwing a bucket of poo at a train passenger. Yet again, a YouTuber trying to do a prank that is so bizarre, so crazy, to the point that he got arrested after throwing buckets of poo at an unsuspected train passenger along with other diverse substances. You can't throw feces at somebody. They can get whoever he threw this on can get sick. So this is Nike. Let me look up and let me see if he has done other stupid crazy things. So this is Nike. So he has 1,500 subscribers. So he's an up and coming YouTuber, pretty much. Let me see something. How long has he been on YouTube? Let me see. Let's see how long he has been on YouTube. He started 9 months ago. So he's been going around throwing stuff on people's head. You know, so he's been going around doing this. And why is his videos are still up on YouTube? I'm very interested in YouTube, and I would like to talk to some of the people from YouTube. Why is this stuff happening on YouTube? We're supposed to have all these restrictions. We're supposed to have all these bots protecting the channels. And I'm going to get to why I'm showing this. There's a reason why I'm showing all of this. But I can spend on here, I can talk for 2 or 3 hours about how there's so many pranksters on YouTube still that's still doing crazy stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share somebody else. I'm going to share somebody else's channel that's going to break it down for you in a shorter version than what I would say. So let me play somebody's video for you. His name is Cameron. I actually watched the whole video. I'm gonna play bits and pieces for you, and I want you guys to hear what he said. He's been saying the same thing that I've been saying, but I've got dragged for it. So maybe you might want to hear from somebody else. So let me play the audio for you.
Like yin and yang, you know? And in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about that other side of Black YouTube, the terrible side. Now, when it comes to the Black community and content creation, I feel like every single idea can't just be a normal idea, you know? There always has to be some sort of sexual spin to it. You can't just do a normal truth or dare. It has to be a freaky truth or dare. You can't just go on a blind date. It has to be a freaky blind date. The other day, I literally seen a video titled, "I put my freaky ass parents on a blind date." We are getting to the point in content creation where we're putting our parents on blind dates and it has to be freaky. That is absolutely weird, if I'm being honest with you. Another trend that's pretty big in the Black community are 20v1s. These videos hit the Black community harder than crack in the 80s. I can't tell you how many Black content creators I've seen milking the absolute life out of 20v1s. Now, if you don't know what a 20v1 is, well, it's basically like a speed dating show where 20 people speed date one person, and by the end of the show, that one person picks their favorite out of the 20 people. I'm pretty sure this video idea was like created by Jubilee, popularized by the Sidemen, and then the Black community just took it by storm. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some genuinely funny 20v1s out there, but then you got channels out here who are posting 20v1s every single week. For example, No Love Mar. Now, if you don't know who No Love Mar is, well, he's a pretty big Black YouTuber who has 1.44 million subscribers. But when you take a look at this man's channel, basically all of his videos are 20v1s. I wouldn't be surprised if this man changed his name to Cupid, the way he's helping out every everyone find love. I wouldn't be surprised if this man did a 20v1 with the whole entire United States for his next video. Honestly, at this point, this man should put me in a 20v1 to help me find some action. Like, come on. And what's crazy is that this man is so obsessed with 20v1s that he literally jumped another YouTuber because they made a 20v1 with Krishan Rock and he wanted to do that idea first. I mean, there's literally entire videos of him and his crew just pulling up to their studio, them beating up the other guys, and them taking the camera and the footage so it doesn't get uploaded to YouTube. Number one, what happened to Shame? Who genuinely wants to speed date the snaggletooth demon Christian? He's 17 years old. And the YouTuber No Love Mar, he made a video with La Tyler. He made a 20v1 and it's disgusting if I'm being honest with you.
How you feel about sex on the first night?
I don't think it's bad. Like, if both of y'all vibing with each other, you peep the vibe. We grown.
We grown.
There's a bunch of grown women in there asking a 17-year-old if he's husband material, which that's completely wild to me. I mean, the man's not even college material. He's not even past high school. What do you mean, is he husband material? That's just odd. And you can't say 17 is close to 18, but at the end of the day, if you sleep with a 17-year-old, that is illegal. But what's even crazier is that there's 20v1s with Lil RT, and for y'all that don't know, Lil RT is a 9-year-old rapper, but he's not like the main character in these 20v1s. He's like that little assist character that you have in freaking Mortal Kombat when you spam L1. I mean, as you can see right here, there's literally a video called I Found Love from the help of Lil RT. Why do you need a 9-year-old to help you find love? You also got the YouTuber King Sid, who's also been doing many child just for them to participate in a face-to-face smash or pass. And like I said earlier, a lot of Black YouTube, their content just revolves around just extremely horny content. Public interviews. I mean, you know, the whole gay son or thought daughter thing. Find your match, which is just basically they get a room full of people and they just try to find their matches and stuff. Overall, my problem with Black YouTube is that number one, it's just unoriginal. Everybody's just copying off each other and expecting to become the biggest Black YouTuber of all time with zero originality, which is absolutely crazy. And number two, all these videos are just based around these sexual concepts for kids to click on them. And then once these kids click on them, they're just going to freaking promote these little scams and stuff like the $750 Cash App scam just so they can get paid. Overall, Black YouTube is just down atrocious right now.
So be sure to go see the full video I did. He made some interesting comments on what's being pushed through the algorithm, especially in the Black side of YouTube. They're not really pushing, you know, good quality content from Black people. They're only pushing the over-sexualization, the shock value, things that I've been talking about pretty much on my channel for years. I've talked about this before and people were like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm confused. No, you know exactly what I'm talking about because you probably watch this type of content that this guy here is talking about. All the negative content you guys watch. Y'all watch these scammers. That's another thing I want to bring out was, you know, there's a lot of scamming still going on here. John Wolf actually talked about the Conjuring House. Let me play a clip for that for you guys to see, so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
So the point she's making here is one that they've repeatedly made in the Sam and Colby footage too. And that's that, hey, the Fox sisters did this for money. We don't do it for money. And we never will.
They would only do this for money.
And we only do this for people who cross our paths naturally and don't do it for money or anything like that.
We're not taking money for this or anything.
But they are doing it for money. Right here in this video. Do me a favor. I'm old and I can't quite see as well these days. So can you tell me what it says on their shirts? Oh, it says The Conjuring House. They work for The Conjuring House. They do this act primarily at The Conjuring House. There's tons of clips of people visiting The Conjuring House and seeing this personalized routine from Cody and Satori. And every one of these people are paying customers. A little background info on The Conjuring House. The current owners, I don't know if that's Jacqueline Nunez or a company she's a part of or what, but they bought The Conjuring House in 2022 for $1.5 million. And when you pay $1.5 million for a house that you don't live in, it's so that house can make money. Preferably more than $1.5 million. So The Conjuring House is understandably aggressively marketing itself. Now I mentioned this way earlier in the video, so you may not remember, but remember when I talked about the Annabelle doll? Remember how the Annabelle dolls have nothing to do with The Conjuring House? And yet, everywhere you look in this place, there's a Raggedy Ann doll. There's multiple Raggedy Anns in glass cases downstairs. There's giant Raggedy Anns in the bedrooms upstairs. And the reason for them being strewn around the place isn't for historical accuracy, because again, they weren't at the Conjuring house. It's to make the house look scary, to attract the ghost hunter / Ed and Lorraine Warren enthusiast clientele. I mean, look, there's Ouija boards used as decoration. There's random dolls in the background. Like, you think these lights are flickering by accident? They're not. This house is painstakingly designed to be a marketable haunted house experience. It is designed to make money. Check out the prices on the website. If you're a content creator and you want to visit, the prices start at $1,200. Even if you just want a tour, the cheapest ones are $25 a guest. Do you know how many tours they do per day? Satori does.
We do like 3 tours a day with 14 people each walking through this room.
3 tours a day, 14 people each. That's 42 people, which at $25 a pop is over $1,000 a day just on tours. And that's not including overnight stays or content creator reservations, which by the way are booked solid through January. My point is, the Conjuring House is a business, and Cody and Satori being on staff means part of their job is drumming up that business. Satori even outright admits this to Sam and Colby.
If it's helping people, then that's why we're still doing this.
That's what it's about for us, and you know, getting the house out there and showing that the house is more than what some people just believe it is. That's the important thing.
That's the important thing. Getting the house out there. Right. So here's the business model. Cody and Satori work for the Conjuring House. When paid customers come for a visit, Cody and Satori do their routine. They get the paying customers to talk about what a life-changing event it was. Tell their friends, hey, you gotta go to the Conjuring House. You won't believe what these 2 people on their staff can do. I have more faith in the afterlife now. I mean, that's exactly what Sam and Colby did. They were so impressed that they insisted their friends who visited get a reading too. And everyone came away from the experience believing even more strongly in the paranormal. A belief that can...
So I will put John Wolf and I will put Cameron video down, the link the description down below. Pretty much all the things that I posted, I always put them in the description box where I get these information from. So yet again, John Wolf is pretty much letting you know that the Conjuring House is a scam. There's 2 YouTubers that is co-signing this BS, which is Sam and Colby. They probably making a profit by bringing people there, and they have like special tools or whatever. Because I don't know if y'all never heard of this, but there is people out here that be saying that they see ghosts, and they'll go to a haunted house and they'll put it on YouTube or TikTok, and people have debunked them so many times, and people be like, oh, you're jealous, you're upset, you know, because you know they got more subscribers or whatever. Yeah, they do have more subscribers because mainly the younger audience are the ones that they're fooling. I mean, you can't fool me because I'm older. Because when I was younger, I used to get fooled by their ghost stories until I got older and I started reasoning. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. But yeah, like I said, these scammers, over sexualization, shock value videos, these are the things that YouTube tend to push. And YouTube said that they don't want this type of audience. They don't want this type of videos on their platform. But this is what's getting pushed. These people got millions and millions of subscribers to Sam and Colby. John Mohn, I don't think he had millions of subscribers, but I know he had more than me because he had 190 likes. So let's keep it 100. And then not only that, I also noticed too that when I speak about something, like I talked about Gypsy Rose, people was upset about it. I believe somebody reported the video because my views are back down again on YouTube. I keep seeing a pattern on my channel. It'll get bigger, and then the next thing you know, one video, I can tell that it got reported, and then after that, the views go straight down. I'm like this: if y'all not gonna push me, push the up and new people that's coming through, the ones that's making decent content. If you're not gonna push mine, push somebody else. Stop trying to find reasons to a channel like me where I'm speaking truth or I'm speaking facts. You know, stop trying to hold me down, and let's stop trying to promote all this negative stuff that I've been talking about for years. Me and other YouTubers been talking about scammers, over sexualization. I've been talking about that a lot on you about what's going on YouTube. It's just ridiculous, and it's like what is it that attracts people to go see this nonsense? Because I know it's the young people that's watching this. But yeah, let me know what you think down below of what I talked about, all these YouTubers down below in the comment area. But as for now, I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Fashion over city trends. It don't matter where you got it from. I just wanna see you shake a little something. Bending over, back it up 2 times.